Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you were new here, welcome. Happy New Year. It is 2023. I cannot believe it. And I thought I would start off this new year with sharing my favorite lactic acid serums, because lactic acid is truly my favorite AHA to use once or twice a week to remove that surface dead skin, to improve that smoothness, that texture, and that brightness of the skin. And lactic acid can do wonderful things for our skin. So let me share my favorites. And of course, everything that I'm going to be sharing will be linked below for you for your reference and for easy shopping. So please don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. And please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as it really helps my channel with the algorithm. So lactic acid is a part of the AHA family, also known as alpha hydroxy acids. So if you have heard of lactic acid, then you most likely have heard of glycolic acid, citric acid, tartaric acid, and even mandelic acid. These are all a part of the AHA family. And then of course there is salicylic acid, which is a beta hydroxy acid, also known as BHA. Now the reason why I love lactic acid is because I find that this chemical exfoliant is quite gentle, but also effective enough to really help to remove that surface dead skin without irritation. Now there are different strengths, so you could possibly still experience irritation or let's say additional dryness depending on the formula that you're using or the strength of lactic acid, because remember there are different percentages with chemical exfoliants. So with glycolic acid, sometimes you can see it at a 10% or higher or lower, and then of course with lactic acid they can be 12%, 10%, 5%, like they're all over the place. So you need to find a percentage that works well with your skin type, of course, and something that you can tolerate too and be consistent with without experiencing irritation all the time. Now, chemical exfoliants can be used daily, but I believe that using them once or twice a week is sufficient enough. You don't want to overdo a good thing. You just want to use it maybe once or twice a week just to help slough off that surface dead skin, create more of that brightness, and to get rid of that dull complexion. And so I do like to take 1 or 2 days during the week to incorporate a lactic acid of some kind, just to get rid of that surface dead skin that might be there from tretinoin. So I'm a big fan of lactic. It has a larger molecule as well, so it's not as harsh and not as irritating as, let's say, glycolic acid. And also, if you have extremely sensitive skin, then you may want to look into mandelic acid. So this is actually even more gentle than lactic. And also you can look into polyhydroxy acids, also known as PHAs. These are even more gentle than mandelic and lactic acid. So there's a lot of options out there depending on what you can tolerate to, and of course what your skin type is. But let me show you the 4 lactic acids that are quite gentle on my skin that honestly do not irritate my skin whatsoever. And just for reference, I have combination skin. So the first lactic acid that I'm going to be showing you is the one that I've been using the longest. And so this is the ordinary lactic acid 10% plus hyaluronic acid. And I started using this one back a couple of years ago. And when I first started with lactic acid, I started with their 5% strength because I wasn't sure how my skin was going to tolerate to lactic acid in general. So I thought it was smart to start with the 5%, see how my skin does, and then of course up it to the 10% if my skin allows me to. And I love the 10%. I really do. Now either strength is going to be effective, so don't worry too much on the percentage here. Just worry about being consistent with it. So again, a couple of days a week, or if your skin can tolerate this every day, then of course you can make that decision. But the 10% just gives you a little bit more of that kick for exfoliation, and I can experience a lot of flakiness, especially from tretinoin. So I feel like this does a really good job, and I always love my experience with this. So this actually contains Tasmanian pepperberry, and so this ingredient actually helps to reduce irritation, sensitivities. Also, this is a very moisturizing serum as well, and I find that it sits nicely on the skin. I've never experienced pilling, but most importantly, I've never experienced additional dryness or irritation with this in particular. So if I just wanted to use this as my only serum in the evening, and then of course I pair it up with a moisturizer, my skin always feels comfortable and it always feels nice and balanced. And normally when I use glycolic acid, for example, like my skin immediately feels tight. Sometimes it can feel stripped and it's just lacking that moisture. But every time I use lactic acid, specifically this one from The Ordinary, my skin always feels incredible. The next one is by Dermatology, and recently they launched the LA Refining Serum. So I did receive this a little while back and I have been putting it to the test ever since, and I really love this serum. Not only does this contain lactic acid at a 12% strength, but this also contains mandelic acid, which is another type of AHA, and there's also polyhydroxy acids. So I really love how we have all of these exfoliants in here, and to be honest with you, I find this to be quite gentle. Now, in fairness, I only use this once or twice a week, like any of my lactic acids. So if you were to be more consistent with this, possibly you could experience additional dryness or maybe irritation. You'll have to figure it out and play around with it and see what works for you. But for 1 to 2 days a week, this is perfect for me. Also, this is even more moisturizing than The Ordinary lactic acid because this texture is more creamy, whereas the one from The Ordinary is like true water. It gets quickly absorbed into the skin. This one would be even better for those that have dry skin because, again, it just has that nice hydration to it and it really keeps your skin nice and comfortable. This contains licorice root extract, hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, and there's also grapefruit oil in here. Now, if you're familiar with the Good Genes lactic acid, I do like that one. I will not be mentioning that in this video, but that one has a distinct smell to it. Now, lactic acid has a scent of its own. So with that serum in particular, you do smell the lactic, but you also smell the lemongrass because I do believe there's a lemongrass oil or a lemongrass extract in the Good Genes. That scent of that serum reminds me of this. But there's no lemongrass in here. There's the grapefruit oil. So you smell that lactic acid, but you also smell that citrusy undertone. I've also never experienced peeling with this, and at first I thought maybe I would have because generally with creamy serums, sometimes I do experience that with the types of skincare products that I use, but surprisingly I did not. And I have tested this out in my morning routine, paired up with sunscreen, paired up with my makeup, everything layered on top of this really nicely. And of course, this is beautiful in your evening skincare routine as well. And if you're someone that uses the Dermatology needleless serum, you can pair that serum up with this if you wish to. You definitely can. So I have a 20% off discount code for you guys from Dermatology. I will leave the code right here, and I will have all of that other information for you with the links below for you if you'd like to look into this or anything else from Dermatology at a discounted price. The third one is by Drunk Elephant, and this is the Proteini Power Peptide Serum. The reason why I love this one so much is because this is extremely brightening and plumping. So this has a 10% lactic acid, but this also contains 11 different types of peptides. And peptides are great to soften fine lines, to firm up the skin, and I love my peptides so much. Peptides always need to be in my skincare routine. They are fabulous. But also, this contains squalene. This also has hyaluronic acid, marula oil, green tea seed oil, there is snow mushroom extract, and there's also amino acids to help soothe and moisturize the skin. So this is very lightweight, but again, very plumping and moisturizing. This is a little bit thinner than the Dermatology serum, but also a little bit thicker than The Ordinary. So this does have a little bit of that creaminess to it, but when you are applying it all over your face and your neck, it feels like water. So it spreads really nicely, a little bit goes a long way, and there's no sticky or tackiness involved with this whatsoever. And this always sat nicely underneath my sunscreen and makeup, but again, I much prefer to use my lactic acids in my evening skincare routine. So not only is this a great serum for exfoliation, but it's also great to treat early signs of aging. And the fourth lactic acid that I really love is by Biossance, and this is the Squalene plus 10% lactic acid Resurfacing Night Serum. I actually don't have this serum in hand with me, and I kick myself for not purchasing it during the Sephora holiday savings event. I don't know what I was thinking, so I'm going to have to place an order because I really love this serum. I feel like this is a very, very gentle serum. I feel like all of the products from Biossance are quite gentle, but also extremely moisturizing and hydrating. So we have that squalene ingredient, which they are famous for, and then of course they have the 10% lactic acid. So I feel like this one is basically basically a basic lactic acid serum, but I also feel like this is more moisturizing and more gentle than the ordinary lactic acid. Honestly, you can't beat the ordinary because they have such a great price point. It is extremely affordable, and of course we are all on a budget. But when it comes to direct acids, you also need to think about how moisturizing and how hydrating are they going to be on the skin, especially if you're someone with dry, sensitive skin. Now, I have combination skin, but because I use tretinoin, this tends to dry out my skin. I get flakiness around my mouth, and sometimes I need that lactic acid that has that moisturizing property to it that just feels nice and comfortable on the skin. So I feel like Biossance is one of those serums that always needs to be in my routine because of this reason. Of course, the Drunk Elephant one is very moisturizing, and so is the Dermatology, but there's something special with the Biossance one, and I just feel like it's formulated so nicely. So if you love the Biossance line, then I highly recommend the 10% lactic acid serum. It's one of my favorites for sure, and honestly, you can't go wrong with any one of these because they are all great. But of course, they all contain different ingredients as well, which is why these are my 4, because every one of them has something different to offer. So it really just depends on what you are looking for. So that is everything in today's video. Those are my favorite lactic acid serums. Of course, I will leave these all below for you for your reference and for easy shopping. Let me know what your favorite lactic acid serum is. If you can recommend something, or if there's something that you would like me to try, let's get a conversation going in the comment section, and please let me know. So thank you again so much for watching. Happy New Year again. Honestly, I feel like I've already said this a couple of times, but I'm gonna say it again. I really hope that this is a very good year. Let's have a good one, and I will see you all in the next video. So take care, and I will see you all then. Bye, guys.